Freeze!
Yakuza is one of my favorite game series ever. Ever since it was released on December 8th of 2005, it has gone on to become a huge staple of Sega's gameography, right next to the Blue Blur, I would say. However, Sega historians call the beginning of the Yakuza or Ryugagotoku series rough and sad. Some question, how did a series with 8 games and counting, brand deals, and many spin-offs all come from this first game in 2005? I am those Sega historians, and all those quotes are from me. My dear viewers, it comes with a heavy heart to inform you that we must dive into the first game to get the answers that we need. Let's backtrack a little bit. Back to 1989 when Toshihiro Nagoshi joined Sega. At first he worked on famous breakthrough games such as G-Lock Air Battle. Sound familiar? Yeah, I thought so. Later, Nagoshi joined Sega AM2, one of their many arcade departments. Nagoshi then worked on one of his first projects at AM2, Virtua Racing. With this, he quickly learned that he could use his college degree in movie production towards how camera angles should be implemented in 3D games. Either the bigwigs at Sega noticed this, or sheer force of will, Nagoshi was made the director of his 5th game at Sega. This game, of course, was nothing special and wouldn't be influential to any sort of game genre. It was his first time directing, after all. I may have been lying. This was one of the most influential racing games ever made. I like to jot this down as pure coincidental luck though, and view Nagoshi's career with neutral lenses. Hello? What? I am making a complete what of myself? Okay, I think I got it. So this wasn't the end of Nagoshi being a game director. He went on to direct some other lesser known games such as Yakuza, Shenmue, and a ton of Super Monkey Ball.
My sister has always been incredible at beating video games. She is incredibly skilled.
She's good with anything with balls, honestly.
That's also not to say that Nagoshi had the occasional fumble every now and again, such as Shenmue.
Get out of my way.
What?
And of course, in my gamer opinion, the very first Yakuza game, in all of its dated glory. I do really enjoy reading about the development of the game and how Sega CEO Hajime Satomi only approved of the game because footage of it was sneaked into a preview of upcoming games for Sega. That and how Sega had alleged ties to the Yakuza, and how the company had other fun company practices. Now, I am not pushing you to go look up Sega isolation rooms, but it would be really funny if you did. By my knowledge, all that is 20-ish years ago. Is it finally time for me to talk about the game? I think it's time for me to talk about the game. The game opens with the main character, Kazuma Kiryu, standing over the corpse of a man who looks pretty damn important. As he looks at the ring on the floor, there's some cops charge into the room.
Freeze!
Wait, hold on. Let me check something really quick. Oh, it looks like the original has an English dub instead of having English subtitles. That's pretty cool. I hope that the performance and translations are at least decent.
Are you deaf?
Shut up and eat.
Shut the fuck up, you fucking Yakuza!
You retarded or just deaf?
Fuck you! Kill this arrogant motherfucker! Kill this dumb motherfucker!
One of the biggest issues and biggest compliments I can give to this game is the English dub. Every time Kiryu does something cool,
Fuck you!
there are about 4 to 5 other times that the English dub makes me curl over laughing from how bad it is.
Excuse me.
Excuse you? No. Fuck you!
I wouldn't be as upset about the dub if there wasn't wasted potential, but the voice cast is filled with stars. It's like the person in charge of casting had all the neurons, while the other people working on the dub had like, 2. To give you guys an example of how good the casting was for the English dub, Mark Hamill voices Goro Majima.
Everyone's jealous of you. I know I'd like to nail a bitch like that.
One of possibly the most perfect castings for that role, and it makes me even more insanely upset when I discover that Mark Hamill doesn't even remember the role. Like, come on, this already isn't a good start for the game. Other than the dialogue, how's the world of Yakuza 1? Well, it's pretty interesting. Exploring the city of Kamurocho based off the real red light district in Tokyo, Kabukicho. There are many similar landmarks, making it so that you really feel like you were in a bustling red light district. From the Red Gate to Theater Square, there are many similarities between the game and the real world place. You can also go about Kamurocho and do many activities to make the city full of life. You can hit the arcade, the beef bowl shop, the bar, the hostess lounges, or even uncover secret underground gambling rings, all of which have varying levels of helpfulness to the gameplay, which I will get into in just one moment. The open world style of the game is nice, but at the same time it doesn't reach the level I would have wanted. A lot of the sounds of the city are just replayed over the course of a couple seconds. Making it so that you get tired of the sounds of the city pretty fast. That, and the fact that the sub-stories pretty much consist of a fight with someone and then you get a reward. There are some exceptions to this, with a hot woman sub-story and the Amon sub-story. But besides those few, it's pretty much quiet in Kamurocho. But sometimes, just sometimes, there will be a punk that runs up to you and starts a fight. That's when a familiar, glorious tune kicks in. This is the reason why most people picked up the game back in 2005, so you can kick the shit out of some poor sons of bitches. Unlike most brawlers that I have played in the past, Yakuza 1 has weight behind all of its hits that you throw and take, making you wince and sit in awe. You can also learn new moves through either the skill tree, a single locker key on the ground, or through Kameki. Kameki teaches you some of the most important moves that you can use. What I mean by this is that without these moves, you will never beat the game without having 2 to 3 holes in your monitor. The best move that you can get from Kameki is the Blessed Tiger Drop. The Tiger Drop is the best move in the game for 3 simple facts. 1, it negates damage. 2, it deals a ton of damage. And number 3, it only takes 2 button presses to activate it. Now that's enough advocating for this game. If you really want to experience the heart-pumping experience that Yakuza 1 advertises itself as, just play Yakuza Kiwami. It improves on the gameplay in every single way, adding more story elements, more mini-games, updated graphics, better controls, more fighting styles, and the entire reason why I'm bringing up Kiwami in the first place is because the Tiger Drop is so easy to activate. Not to mention that Yakuza Kiwami makes use of the right stick on the controller, you know, the other half of the controller. While in Yakuza 1, you just don't use the right stick at all. Well, that's kind of a lie. You see, you use the right stick to move the minimap slightly, and that's it. Such a wasted use of the right stick. This also makes it so that the camera angles can get extremely annoying during fights. Oh my fucking god. In the open world, it's different though, because the game is going for more of a big brother is always watching approach to the camera angles. Very nice. Well done. I'm all for artistic vision, but I am also an advocate for games being reasonable. Now that we've covered the gameplay, it's about time that we talk about the story. My apologies, dear viewers. It seems I have entirely forgotten about an aspect of Yakuza 1 that is very good throughout. You see, one of the many aspects of Sega is that there's not a single Sega game to have ever released with a terrible soundtrack, with the exception of Sonic Origins. But that's besides the point. I am very pleased to announce that Yakuza 1 has a banging soundtrack that catches the energy of battling 15 guys at once. Or just chilling at some bar in the outskirts of the city. It's all thanks to the composer Hidenori Shoji, who not only composes the music for Yakuza 1, but also composed a lot of the music for the other Yakuza games. An absolute staple, and for good reason. Nothing elevates a good fight like some great music. Alright, no more dilly-dallying. It's time to tackle the story of Yakuza 1. As you could tell from the opening, things are not looking good for our main guy Kiryu.
Freeze!
But to understand it, let's go back a little bit. We can see Kazuma Kiryu and Shinji, no, not that one, going on about Yakuza trademark business. Kiryu has a sworn brother, his own bar to go to called Serena, and has a crush on a woman. All these are very essential to being a Yakuza, especially knowing the bar owner. Bless Reina's heart. Plus, The banter between Kiryu and his sworn brother Nishiki is pretty sweet.
Yeah, right. So what's the deal? You starting your own family?
But then, boom! Nishiki killed the head of the Dojima family, traumatized Yumi, and now Kiryu's taking the fall for it so that Nishiki and Yumi can escape. Kiryu gets interrogated by this nobody called Date, and then it's off to prison. All this takes place in 1995, so then we see Kiryu stay 10 years in prison, get expelled from the Yakuza, formerly known as the Tojo clan. Very nice people, from Shimano to Majima.
I should kill you.
Stupid! Fucking motherfucker!
We also see the good side of the clan, like the foster dad of Kiryu, Fuma. I don't even have an explanation for Kazuma being called Fuma in this game. Just don't think about it. Kashiwagi, who is Fuma's right-hand man, and third chairman Sarah. All these Yakuza are all connected to one massive conspiracy of money and crime. Specifically, the Tojo clan suddenly missing 10 billion yen. This is announced by Nishiki at a meeting and chaos ensues.
Shut the fuck up.
Meanwhile, Kiryu gets out of prison and is ready to see his sworn brother, who definitely didn't become a dick.
10 years in the joint made you a
Oh
fucking pussy. 10 years in the joint made you a fucking pussy.
While Kiryu tries to see what the hell is going on in Kamurocho, he runs into the fun people of Stardust, like Yuya and Kazuki. They tell him about how Fuma's been doing, and then drop the bombshell about how Sarah has been fucking grassy knolled. Then the Nishiki family raid the place, and Kiryu runs into Shinji, who is just as bald as ever. Shinji tells Kiryu about how Fuma will see him at Sarah's funeral. Once there, Kiryu is informed that Nishiki became a dick after killing Dojima, and that Yumi is somewhere. Let's not forget, Kiryu had to sneak into a funeral to get this info. Yeah, nice going, Kiryu. No wonder an unknown assailant shoots your foster dad. The entire Tojo clan thinks it was Kiryu because, you know, he killed once, he'll do it again. So he fights his way through Tojo clan's HQ and has to fight Shimano of the Shimano family. Wow. What a coincidence. Once out of the funeral, Kiryu exchanges story information with Detective Date. After this cutscene, the whole open world is finally ready for the taking. You can even almost get assassinated at a strip show.
Kazuma-san, she's a guy!
I can't wait to go back home and see my mom.
Okay, maybe this game is awesome.
You're so cute. I could eat you.
Never mind. After some time, Kiryu arrives back at Bacchus with a shocking discovery that somebody left a little girl among all these corpses. This is Haruka, and she's extremely important for 6 out of 8 Yakuza games. She's the daughter of Mizuki, Yumi's twin sister, with a distinct flower tattoo. Together, Kiryu and Haruka dig deeper into this mystery, with Haruka being kidnapped at least twice. Once by Majima, and only having to cross the entire map 4 to 5 times. God. Kiryu also meets up with other colorful characters and factions, like the florist, who runs Purgatory and is the best informant ever. Like, this dude has cameras where you would never believe. He's kinda like your average Airbnb owner. Purgatory in its own right is crazy. It's like an underground red light district, with a whole fighting coliseum. Very fun to participate, especially with my favorite fighter, Gary Buster Holmes!
You gonna squeal like a bitch, motherfucker.
After helping the florist on a couple of father and son issues, and helping Date on some father and daughter issues.
What? Of course not. Are you fucking retarded?
I'm not as stupid as you.
Kiryu goes to Serena to meet up with Nishiki and talk shop, which ends...
You shot Fuma Oyabun?
Yeah. I was shaking like crazy when I did it.
poorly. This starts a huge battle between Kiryu and most of the Nishiki family, with some of the best tunes in the game as a backdrop. An actual fun fight. Makes you forget that 10 minutes ago, Kiryu slapped the shit out of Haruka. Kiryu moves on to living life lavishly, and by that I mean that the game's story gets derailed for about 2 hours, because a Chinese gang headed by Lao Kalong kidnapped Haruka. Again, this makes you search and fight through multiple different gangs, all scattered throughout Kamurocho. Then you fight Lao Kalong, not before Kiryu kills a man. I forgot to mention that Kiryu supposedly hasn't killed anyone, yet does so on many occasions. Anyways, Lao Kalong uses only blades, and it's such a pain in the ass fighting guns and blades in this game. They hit for so much damage. Luckily, there aren't that many guns during this fight. However, once Date, Haruka, and Kiryu hit the highway, the game throws you into one of the worst shooting minigames I have ever played. I blame this just on the fact that the devs still don't utilize the right stick yet again, making it so that you turn 90 degrees in one direction by pressing the left trigger. Besides that, you're able to shoot and take cover in the car. Very straightforward, and it's over in no time. This shootout happened because Reina leaked what Kiryu and Date's plans were to Nishiki, who then sent out some shooters. Kiryu makes his way back to Serena to find Reina left, picked up some furniture, and left some blood on the floor. Shinji calls up Kiryu to tell him that the Nishiki family is trying to kill him and Reina, and now we're back into the story that matters. Shinji gets shot, Reina dies, and you fight Neo and Date's baby, who backflips and uses guns. Easy to fight. It totally won't make you feel dead inside. As Shinji's dying, he mentions that Fuma knows where Yumi is, and then he pieces out.
Shinji? Shinji!
God, this dub is so fucking funny, man. Kiryu takes Haruka to his soap land called Shangri-La to gather more information about Fuma's location. Very strange. Why would you do this? The informant then talks about how Nishiki is after Sarah's will, who entails the next chairman of the Tojo clan. They also tell Kiryu that Fuma is at the wharf.
What the? Let's fuck this shit up!
Guys, Majima's back! Marking a second Majima fight that, to speak in YouTube terms, broke me. I didn't stock up on that many health items and I just kept dying to the exact same moves. I legit had to put my controller down and walk away, but I beat it, even though I was extremely close to turning my difficulty down to easy. After that fight, Kiryu goes to the wharf where Fuma is hiding. Kiryu also meets Tarada, who is cool, I guess. Fuma explains how Sarah was working with a corrupt politician named Jingu, who wanted all loose ends covered up. Those loose ends being his ex-wife Yumi and his daughter Haruka. When Sarah pretends that Haruka and Yumi have been quote-unquote taken care of, Jingu then decides that there is one more loose end to cover up, making Nishiki kill Sarah. Fuma also discusses how Yumi was Mizuki all along, and how she lost her memory about the night Nishiki killed Dojima. But she regained it, and is now headed for the bar Ares. This conversation gets cut short by the Shimano family raiding the yacht that Kiryu and the gang are on. Hi there, if you or a loved one believe that this story displayed in this video is convoluted and confusing, you would be right, because the story of Yakuza 1 is just, it's bad. It's bad, guys. It's bad. It's terrible. I'm sorry I had to tell you this way. After some fighting and jumping off an exploding boat, Kiryu then fights Shimano, who loses. Possibly the easiest fight in the whole game. But he rages and throws a grenade at Fuma, and then gets turned into Swiss cheese. This is a very emotional moment in the game, entirely undercut by just how fucking hilarious the dub is.
The future of the Tojo clan is in your hands.
Yes, sir.
Kazuma, I have something I have to apologize to you for. Please forgive me, Kazuma. I'm the one who killed your parents. It was me. The Sunflower Orphanage is a place where I send all the kids that I made into orphans.
It doesn't matter. That's in the past. Oyabun, to me, you were my... You were my real father!
We're finally on the final chapter, which is where the game reaches its peak. Kiryu has to go to Ares, a bar at the top of the Millennium Tower, and that's where the 10 billion yen is located, and where the final battle will happen.
So you ready for me? Then step the fuck up. It's time to die.
Only good line from the dub. Kiryu fights his way through Kamurocho with Haruka in tow. You even get to beat up some higher up police officers. Once you reach the top of the Millennium Tower, Kiryu and Haruka finally meet up with Yumi. Wow, a happy ending, which is cut short by Jingu showing up in a helicopter and bragging about how he pretty much won. Yumi counters this by pulling out a bomb to blow up the 10 billion yen. And Kiryu counters this in his own way.
Sarah, that bastard, making me look like a fool from beyond the grave. But that will, it's just a piece of scrap now.
You're right, but only if I die. And that isn't about to happen. I'll protect what Fuma Oyabun and Chairman Sarah left behind with my life. I am the 4th chairman of the Tojo clan. Kazuma Kiryu!
I hate to bring up Kiwami again, but the Jingu fight in Kiwami is so much worse than Yakuza 1. In Yakuza 1, you get shot and you don't stagger all that much, but in Kiwami, you fall down and you have to spam a button to get back up. My one gripe with an overall perfectly done remake, back to Yakuza 1, Jingu is already taken care of, and now the happy ending can commence.
Nishiki.
You finished? Now we can all relax.
Nishiki.
What the hell is that? A bomb? Yumi, don't be an idiot.
No. I won't let you have the money.
Huh. Oh man.
Oh fuck. The fight that has been anticipated the entire game, made even cooler with the symbolism of their back tattoos, where Kiryu is the dragon and Nishiki's the koi. The koi has to pass the dragon's gate to finally become the dragon, but the one thing between the koi and power is the dragon itself. An amazing fight, made entirely gut-busting by the dub once again.
10 years in the joint made you a fucking pussy. Come on, fucker! 10 years in the joint made you a fucking pussy. You can do the rump shaker, huh? The thug shaker. Give me the thug shaker, dude. Shake your ass. Take your hands off it and shake that shit.
Now, the happy ending can commence. Yumi plants the bomb on the billions of yen, but before they can leave, Jingu shoots Kiryu and Yumi. It looks as though Jingu might win, but then Nishiki charges Jingu and kills him, and then decides to blow Ares to Kingdom Come.
I am going to finish what I started.
No! Stop! Don't do it! Nishiki! Nishiki!
Date storms the place with the police, and before Kiryu decides to go back to prison after losing everything, Date suggests staying outside of prison walls for Haruka. Kiryu gave up the title of chairman to Terada, because why not? He also says goodbye to Date and walks towards his new life. If you're solely thinking about the ending, you may consider Yakuza 1 to be a good game. But when you look at how the gameplay, the camera, and the open world are, you start to realize that it is more than rough around the edges. The best parts of this game is the characters themselves, and the struggles that they go through. It is impossible to take any of it seriously when the dub is so not serious. If I was in 2005 and I played this game, I would have never expected the series to have taken off as it has. All of that is for a later time. Right now, UFO Catcher is calling my name. Oh my fucking god.